knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Tuesdays, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. here on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
Welcome to Drive Time Exchange. As rubber hits the road, hard talk meets great music. Monday to Thursday, 4 to 6 p.m. on Net Radio, taking you above and beyond.
All right, everybody, and of course, good afternoon to you as we welcome you into the Drive Time Exchange here on New Era TT Radio. We are the heartbeat of the Caribbean, taking you above and beyond. And wherever you may be tuning in from, we welcome you. It's good to have you. And of course, inside of our Drive Time Exchange, we are marshaled by none other than journalist extraordinaire himself, Tony Fraser. So, Tony, great afternoon to you. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. And how was your weekend?
It was pretty good, you know. In spite of everything, the little scare, the little anxiety, all the different things, but it was a good weekend.
Yeah, like so many of us, we're concerned that something can come from overhead.
Yes. Overhead, underground, you don't have a clue because you're playing out of a league.
Well, live in hope. Incidentally, tomorrow I have it down for discussion among some military analysts. The question being, how should we approach this thing? There is no certainty from any side. The Prime Minister hasn't told us what to expect and what not to expect. And of course, we have a gentleman in the far north who you can expect anything from. So the possibilities are many. But for this afternoon, we forget all of that. We come to that tomorrow, so we talk about that tomorrow and not this afternoon. This afternoon, we continue and really wind up the Calypso History Month, to where we've been looking at the origins and development of the Soca over the period since the mid-1970s, when Rush Shorty came on the scene, accompanied by people like Maestro and all of the others who got onto the Soca ship, notwithstanding shadows threatening to sink the Soca ship. He eventually got onto the Soca ship also. And unbeknown to us, a Calypso scholar, one of the Calypso scholars of the country, evolving in terms of this art form, giving it respectability, if you like, something that can be studied. like Shakespeare or any of the other bards who have got involved in the literature of their countries. And Dr. Rudolph Ottley is that individual. As I said, unbeknownst to us, he recently published, I think it was last week, he will tell us about it, book on the same subject of the evolution of soca. So he's here this afternoon to give us a rundown on that. I don't know, Dr. Ottley, if you have a light or a window or something open close to you to get some light onto the screen. If you have that, either a lamp like I have when it's getting late, or a window to open so that some more light, or light to put on above so that some more light comes onto the screen. We want to see your face clearly and not only hear your voice. So if you can attend to that or have somebody attend to it while you start chatting. As you heard, the introduction is, and we have talked extensively about different forms of soca, different artists who have jumped on the train and so on. Let's perhaps I should ask you the first. Why investigate the origins of soca?
Okay, good afternoon, Tony. Thanks for having me on your program this afternoon. I hope you're hearing me loud and clear.
Yes, we're hearing you loud and clear. We just need a light on you.
I know, but I think I have enough light on myself. People have enough light on me. I put enough light on me. I don't know if I need any more light, but that's another story.
That is all right. We'll work on what we have. That is okay.
The problem though, I had a lamp, and I don't know, I was away for a while, and when you share a house with a wife who moves things around, I think she probably put it somewhere. But I'll try and see if I get it before we end.
Okay, somebody could assist you with that. I am fortunate. I'm in front of two windows, so I get the light from outside.
Yeah, I don't have
go ahead.
Why
investigate the origins of soca?
Well, it wasn't just investigating the origin of soca. It was part of that journey. I don't know why I took it on, but that I started in the 70s, really researching our culture with specific reference to Calypso, the development of Calypso. And out of that interest in finding out this musical genre called Calypso, in the midst of the 70s, there was this raging discussion about this new music. Who started it, why it was started. And as you mentioned before, those names came up, the Maestros, the Shadows, the Arrows, the King Fighter, the King Wellington, a number of names were thrown into the mix. And I took at the time, I guess, youthful and investigative. I took a trip to Piparo in April 1993, which was 20 years after that debate had started. And I think it was a time when I thought that, okay, Garfield Blackman had gone through that change from Calypsonian to almost like a saintly move from the world of the Calypsonian to now the visionary, the mentor, the prophet. And I thought that it would have been a good time to talk to him about both in his previous incarnation of a Calypsonian and why he changed from being the Calypsonian to be now the prophet, the Jamo father. And it's during then I discovered a number of things, which I as you rightly mentioned, I published in the book last week, Tuesday, called The Evolution of Soca, the Lord Shorty Testimony. And the name is very important because, again, I am not trying to ridicule or devalue anyone's contribution to this evolution of soca, but to pay particular reference to the fact that from the research and from the information that I've gathered over the years, Lord Shorty is the one who started a vanguard, who was the Pied Piper of changing the music, the structure of the calypso, and as we know in culture and the evolution of culture, no one man can really change a musical genre or create a musical genre. But in all of it, we need someone to be the leader. So they want to take the mantle and run with it. And from my research, there's no denying the fact that Lord Shorty is the one who took up that mantle in 1971 and decided, hey, I am going to find a way to change this music to make it more palatable. This Calypso music that we're listening to in the 70s, we need to change it to make it more palatable, not only for the average person, but for the generations to come, and more specifically, for the based on the ethnic composition that we had in the society, so that each one will feel they're part of this new music. So in a nutshell, that's the genesis of this book.
You know, Dr. Ottley, as you say that, I'm in the process of writing some columns, my weekend columns, on the subject that you just mentioned there. And it just struck me as that when you say that he decided to, if you like, incorporate other cultures into the popular Calypso at the time, it's something that we need to do in the wider society, so that groups of people don't feel left out, but are really part of the. So I heard it mentioned from you on that score, and I think it's important. And it's spread, of course, to other elements of the culture that we have in Trinidad and Tobago, including the political culture.
Mm-hmm. Because we don't live in a bubble, and therefore. And if we really get to the genesis of this soca music, we must go back to the 60s and to review the factors that were influencing the society at large. We had to deal with the Black Power movement in North America, the Stokely Carmichaels, the Martin Luther King, and then we had to deal with the artists who we looked up to for that kind of support in that era. You know, the Otis Reddings, the James Browns, the Aretha Franklins, and the Curtis Mayfield and these guys. And then, because what we were having in the 60s and early 70s in Trinidad was all these foreign influences impacting on what we listened to, especially since the music we were exposed to on the radio were basically the Dean Martins and the Frank Sinatras and all of these things. And if you listen to Relator the Calypso in 1967, we talk about the Radio Trinidad and Radio Teddy. When you played it, you heard all these artists, and then at the end of the verse, he said, Radio Trinidad, in a very sarcastic way, after he had Bing Crosby and all these boys. So that critical to that emergence of the soca is to really think of the influences that impacted on the youth, and it's mainly the youth, the African urban youth, who were impacted by the influences and influences of North America. And therefore, Shorty was saying, if the young people are not hearing, first of all, they're not hearing our music on the radio, and even those who are interested in our music, they're not interested enough because the music was too harsh. It dealt with issues that some of them were not interested in. And as Black Stallion said later on, it dealt with the Roman woman. And he wanted to change that. He wanted to change that scenario, that ecology of what the Calypso music was supposed to be. And then he went through a process. The first one being the blending of the ethnic groups through their instruments. So the tabla, the danlao, and drums, African drums, and the emerging of that music, which resulted in what he called the first soca in Drani. Now there are other discussions about that, but I'm solely supporting the idea or the notion of what Shorty said, that the first soca song was in Drani in 1970, recorded in 1972 for Carnival 1973.
Okay. You make another point there, Dr. Ottley, which is not usually recognized, whether intentionally or not. You're talking about the geopolitics and Trinidad and Tobago's position in the middle of the hemisphere. We have influences from the north, we have influences from the south, and of course we are connected to that wider Caribbean basin of countries. And if you go, like some people that I've known, I've never experienced it, but you go to places like Colombia and offshore Colombia, and those West Indians who went to Panama and so on. So we really at the center of a whole lot of things. The music influences coming in all the time.
Yeah, because as you rightly called Colombia, there's the island of Colombia called Cartagena, where there's this high input of West Indian, but mainly Calypso music. And then you go to Costa Rica, in a village called Cahuita, where they have labeled or defined Calypso as the music of that part of Costa Rica, a government proclamation. But more importantly, in 2025, if we had any doubt as to our geographic importance, I mean, the last couple of weeks highlights it even more.
You know, I've been to a place in Costa Rica called Limon. It's on the Pacific side of it, and West Indians talking Spanish in West India, in Jamaica, and I was totally confused.
Yeah, and that came out of that the building of the Panama Canal, where a lot of Caribbean people went there, and after they moved, to different South American countries and even back to Trinidad, and that is how that Calypso went up the chain of South American
Central
islands.
America. So as you were saying, Dr. Ottley, coming back to the core of the thing, we recognize that there are outside influences on the periphery, if you like, for the soca to come alive. But you mentioned Indrani, the ones that, and it came 73, I think you said. 75 came the big one.
Endless Vibrations,
which seem to have swept everybody. So, Chalo, if you could find that, we could start off with that piece of music, and then we can talk about other things around the soca. Remember, to our audience, we have been over the last 4 or 5 weeks talking about soca in this Calypso History Month, and recognizing all kinds of influences and how the soca music developed. We have with us Dr. Rudolph Ottley, who has just researched and written about, what's the name of the book, Dr. Ottley?
The Evolution of Soca, the Lord Shorty Testimony.
Right. Can you put it up on the camera? Put it to your camera so our audience can see it. Yeah. It's a book, and you see Shorty's face there, the rash Shorty eye. That's it. So the Endless Vibration was the one that really hit the stage and perhaps announced the coming of the soca. Chalo, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Change the accent of carnival to a groovy bacchanal, wailing, expressing the old feeling. Do needs changing. Wake up, people, examine your minds. Get with it, the change of the times. It's a new generation, endless vibrations. Right on. Right on, right on, right on. Le, 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 le. Hit me horns. Come baby, oh baby, jump with me. Come baby, oh baby, run with me. Change your musical structure, make it super sweeter. Juve morning when we wailing, bring on this funky feeling. Uptight, feeling so fine. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, let the music take your mind. Get with the feeling. It's so exciting. Right on. Right on. Right on. Right on. Le, 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 le. Le, 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 le. Do it, Holmes. Hey, hey. Woo! Come, baby, oh baby, jump with me. Come, baby, oh baby, romp with me. Why? It's carnival ride. Make back alive. Right on.
All right.
A new
Yep.
music.
Yeah, a little bit of shorty there for you. Endless vibrations.
And Dr. Ottley, he said quite a hell of a lot in those two verses that we heard, introducing the music and talking about why it should change at this point in time and what it can achieve.
Right, and again, that goes back to my earlier comments about the fact that he was the vanguard in changing the music. He was the pioneer in attempting to bring the youth into the music and to appreciate the music. And if you listen to the lyrics, especially the chorus, all the right on and all those things, that stemmed out of that North American experience, whereby James Brown and these guys, that's the kind of language they were using to communicate to their audience. And then, but the second verse in particular, when he said, change your musical structure, make it so much sweeter. Tuesday morning, when we whining, bring out that funky feeling. Okay, so two things are happening there in that verse. One is that he's making a plea for the whole musical structure to change, but also funky again and again, and it shows where his head is at in terms of where he's trying to take the music. It's not the word that we would have used in our vocabulary before, but funky comes out of that again, that North American Black Power R&B era. You know, so it's very clear. Shorty was very clear on what he wanted to do, and that is why some people got confused with labeling the music because of him using things like right tone and funky. They thought he was saying about soul, make Calypso soulful. Whereas in reverse, he was saying, let's get to the soul of Calypso.
Okay.
You know,
You
so
know, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
yes. So and that was another debate that almost mirrored the evolution of the soca. People were saying, why Shorty want to make it more soulful? Why Shorty only using North American terms? But Shorty was saying, just like how we could relate to the American rhythm and the American language, let's use the language what the common youths in Trinidad were using, the normal youths. But let us deal with the soul of the Calypso and make the soul more palatable, make the soul more appealing, make the soul more funky, but funky meaning that we can enjoy it in a nice way.
And in that, what you've said, he's recognizing that the soul is already there. We have to explore it.
We have to explore it. Yeah, he was very assured of the fact that the soul is there. But let us get into it some more, and not just limited to the Roman story.
You know, as you talk about the Americanization or drawing on the Black America and the links musically and otherwise, I remember sometime in the early 1970s going up, walking up Frederick Street one Juve morning, must have been about 7 o'clock or so, and right in the vicinity of St. Mary's, Desperados was coming down. And they were playing one of Michael Jackson's pieces, I Want You Back, or whatever it was.
Yeah. Want You Back, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. And what struck me, I stood up, what struck me was the funkiness of it. That Desperados, I suppose the young blacks in Desperados were feeling that movement of music which was tied into Black Power and all of that. So the crossovers are there.
Yep. I'm so glad you recognize the best steel band in the world, right?
All right, that's another story. Started on Saturday night. Let's put it this way. Anthony is not here.
He might be listening, so that's what to make sure.
Okay.
Yes, but yes, but if you know another person who has used the not only used but was cognizant of the impact of the North American music on Trinidad music and Calypso was David Rudder. David Rudder is very sensitive to what was happening around him and how he composed his music, and he has acknowledged in many of his interviews that he was also aware that the impact of James Brown and all these guys on how we compose, because he lived in that era where these guys were alive, and therefore he couldn't take away. So like he talked about Calypso music having all of these different genres within it because of the exposure and the Americanization of our culture. You know, so that is something we really cannot deny.
Yeah. You know, when he was, I think it was 65, you know, he had these birthday celebrations for, the last one was when he got to 70. But I think it was 65, it may have been 60 or 65. But he had a show in the Savannah, and he not only talked about the influence of the black soul music on him, but he sang a few of the songs of the period too. I don't remember exactly what they were, but I know that he sang a couple of the songs that influenced him, I suppose, like a young black man in the city. And he was with all those others who you know, dwelling in the Black American music. Somebody like Sir Charles, right?
Yeah, I'm sure Sir Charles could relate to that.
Yes.
Sir Charles, tell us about that, man. Join the conversation. The black music.
What can I really say? I mean, I'm no expert like you guys, you know, especially where that is concerned. I mean,
but you did more than we did. You played the music for people to dance. As far, I don't know if Rudy did that, but I surely never did that. So tell us, and what were the kinds of reactions that you got when you played that kind of music?
Well, basically, from when I would have, you know, joined the thing as a DJ outside here playing the soca music. Soca music is a life, unlike any other music. If you're going to Lime, yes, all respect the reggae and the other genres of music. But when it comes to liming, hanging out, having a good time, frenzy kind of finish, it is soca music. It puts you in that kind of happy frenzy kind of mood, and it moves people in a kind of way. You know, you will go and you will see other people in other spaces. They will lime, they will wave, they will kind of nice casually move. But when soca music playing, you can get trampled.
Meaning that it appealed to people.
Yeah, it has that kind of an appeal to people. You know, I'm just always curious as to, you know, why it is taking so long to really go out into the wider world as a major genre of music compared to other forms of music that are outside here.
Dr. Ottley has some views on that.
You know, so that has always, you know, I've always wondered that, because I've seen other music from other species come after soca music, not as good as soca music, and has gone. So I don't know if Rudy can help us with that.
Well, I think it's unlike Calypso, that really made its own international fame without any kind of marketing or strategic plan. No, Calypso was all over the world since the 1930s and up to now. The problem, I think, with soca is that, unlike that era of the 1930s, what we need now is a strategic marketing input into the world of music. What I mean by that is that, just as the Jamaicans did with Bob Marley, whereby Bob Marley was the face of the music. There was no competition among the Jamaicans as who was the face of the reggae music in the 70s. It was Bob Marley. And they invested in Bob Marley, in terms of the profiling, in terms of the shows he had to do, and those kinds of things. We have been caught up in a competitive arena whereby who the soca monarch becomes the face of the soca for each year. And therefore, how do we market it? Do we say, well, 1 year is Blue Boy or Super Blue, Then the next year we have Marshall Montano, and the other year we have Keso, we have Grungy. And that has been our problem. If we have to disperse in terms of how we try to get this music out there. As I said, it's not like in the 1930s, whereby anyone went to go out there, you would have been accepted. Now people looking for a leader. And R&B, you have the leaders. You have the Beyoncés, and you have the writers, R. Kelly and these guys. And so you have people who you will focus on. We are too scattered. We are moving from too many different angles. And therefore, how, as a producer in the United States, for example, who do you attract to your label to say, I am going to take X to be the face of soca?
Well, I suppose it's a little bit more confusing when you think that in the 1950s, people knocked Belafonte and so on, but in the 1950s, Belafonte was there. Nat King Cole was singing with Belafonte. Calypso in the 1950s, melodies, calypsos, and so on. So we have been there, but as you rightly say.
And as you said that, Tony, and that was important because Belafonte was the face of Calypso, and it was someone they could have identified it. We in the Caribbean in the 50s didn't think much of Belafonte because we thought, well, he never win a Calypso crown, he would never sing a tent and all. You know,
because a little bit of jealousy.
And because of that, because we so like competition that, you know, he never be sparring or show how he would be king of Calypso. But he was the face that the Americans and the investors could identify with, and therefore use that face and that imagery to take the Calypso forward. And that is what we need right now with soca. Who is the face of soca? If you go down south, they'll tell you it's Kes. If you come Toco, they'll tell you Marshall Montano. If you go Point, they'll tell you Blue Boy. You know, so that has to become an issue. That has become an issue. And I think until a government or Tuco or some organization said, okay, we are going to market soca, and these people, maybe 4 or 5, are the faces we're going to push to get their music out there. Now, I don't envy them in determining who they're going to select, because that's another story. But
all right, let's go back to your research work, and before we delve into that, perhaps you can suggest a song, a calypso or soca piece that you want Sir Charles to play. Hopefully, we have it.
I'd like him to play Savage for a number of reasons by Maestro.
Okay, I look for sure. Yeah. So go ahead in the meantime. I'll look for it in the meantime.
Okay. Yeah. Start off by talking about Savage. Why?
Okay. Part of the discourse on the evolution of soca has been a following of people who are of the view that Maestro was more instrumental in the evolution of soca than Lord Shorty. And again, with the research I've done and with the kind of communication and time I spent with Shorty and the evidence he had, there's no way Maestro could have been to the forefront of soca before Shorty. As a matter of fact, Shorty admitted that they were friends, they were close friends, both growing up in the Princeton, Lengua village area. They shared ideas on calypso and formatting. And as a matter of fact, within the book I recorded where Shorty said, Maestro was one of the people who told him that this mixing of the Dulak and the African drums and the mixing of the races through music is not going to work. And then he and all the so-called say Shorty, I'm trying to play too much Indian, and a whole series of discussions that they had. But at the end of the day, according to Lord Shorty, Maestro felt that it could not work. He said, however, after the 1975 release of Endless Vibrations, Maestro came to him and said, boy, I can get through. I want to do a soca. And if you listen to Savage, all of the chants that you will have heard in Endless Vibrations, it's in Savage. Savage was recorded, Endless Vibrations was recorded in 1974 for 75. Savage was made in 76 for 77. And you can see all of the chants, all of the musical, what they call it, the musical tones that were used in Shorty's music is incorporated into Savage, just to justify the point that came after.
Okay, Charlo, you got it?
Yes, I have it for you now.
New York City don't have money. Anywhere you walk,
over, licks like fire.
All right, yeah, that's Maestro's Savagery, you guys.
You know, I never thought about it before, Dr. Ottley, but I wonder why he located the environment in the American situation. Any thoughts on that?
Yes, I think it had a lot to do. At that time, most of the Calypsonians were based in New York at the time. And one of the things, it was the whole, it was just, I think that was about 10 years after Sparrow's Congo Man. And it had a lot to do with the whole perception of the African man and in terms of the sexuality overtones, yes, the sexuality and all of that. But when you listen to the horn lines and the chorus and you play endless vibrations back to back, you get the same motifs, the same vocal arrangement and the same motifs with percussive motifs coming out of the song. And for Shorty, you know, as he said in the interview, that's one of the things that he knew, and he felt good in his heart. And he was also sad that my show was not around to add credence to the fact that, yes, he came after Shorty, Dead Endless Vibration, to request that song, and Shorty helped him.
What you're saying there is the importance of us to capture these movements from the people, because we don't know if they're going to be around, if we are going to be around tomorrow, and therefore we have to capture them. Chalo, what else you have there? I know Dr. Ottley has to leave at 5 o'clock, so let's see what else music that we get inside here. Dr. Ottley, any particular one you want to?
Yeah, I was going to give you another one by Maestro, one of my 5 favorites.
Give us the one Higher World of Music by Shorty.
Which one is that? By who? Shorty?
Yeah, Higher World of Music. It's a tribute song to Maestro.
Okay, well, I have to look for it in the meantime.
Yeah,
sure. So you go ahead, you can talk about it in the meantime.
Again, it's based on, its deep friendship with Maestro. When Maestro passed away in 1977, for Canvas 1978, Shorty composed a song called A Higher World of Music, where he expressed a number of things that he wanted to thank Maestro for, but also to deal with that whole issue of the creation of the music of Soca. It's like almost he's saying, you're not here, but I think it's still I need to communicate these thoughts, these ideas, these things that we dealt with, so people can have a sense of what transpired between the both of us.
Maestro, in a way, well, speaking for myself, kind of crept up on us. But if you hear the musicians, as we had them on Pelham Goddard and so on, Maestro was doing a lot of good stuff long before he became popular, and he was creating songs for all kinds of people, including, as the claim goes, that he did some for Shorty. I don't know, they
Well,
were
yes,
sent.
I think is an era, and even today, when the Calypsonians were like brothers, where they, rather than compete, although they competed, rather than compete, they would have helped each other, worked together with each other. It was an era whereby that village life was very important, especially for the Southern Calypsonians, and with Maestro and Shorty from Princess Song and in that rural community, they spent time together, and therefore it would not have been strange for Maestro to write for Shorty and Shorty to write for Maestro or anybody else. The same way Melody would have composed songs in his early days as Lord Livingston for Superior and vice versa. So there's nothing new about that. But the point is that the Calypsonian of that era lived the life of the Calypsonian, and for them, when one of their brethren went on stage, they felt that it represented all of them, and therefore they ensured that his work was sitting standard. And unlike today, whereby some of them maybe will be glad you do not fit the part or your song does not come over properly.
I have heard, for instance, Brigo on Superior talk about living with Spoiler and learning from Spoiler. In their early days, being taught by Spoiler, sharing experiences. Then there are those who lived by Kitchener and learned from Kitchener over a long period of time.
Yes,
So,
and that was a very important time. But again, I don't know if these young artists will want to share like that. I know that different kind of personalities we dealing with, a different environment. But those times are very important. I did hear the discussions you had with Pelham Goddard and the others. But one of the things I want to talk about is the whole evolution of the musicians and the studio musicians in the creation of Calypso, of Soca. There's a talk that, let me start by saying, initially, people like Ed Watson, as much as he did after 1977, initially Ed Watson was not interested in soca music.
Soca, okay.
As a matter of fact, he told Shorty very bluntly in the interview that right now Calypso is dead. That is 1972. He said that to Shorty. Calypso is dead, and all the musicians now are going with reggae. And Shorty retorted, if Calypso is dead and you are such a tough musician, you have to. It's your responsibility to put some life into it. But why abandon it? And Ed Watson's version was, hey, that over, I'm going to reggae. And it is so surprising and strange and to show the cycle of life that at the end of his time, Ed Watson's time, he's been hailed as one of the best soca musicians we ever had. And it's very interesting that how when the full story is not told or people are not exposed to the full story, we sometimes only see the success of it. In other words, had it not been for Sugar Boom Boom in 1977 and the success of that song with Kitchener, and which was really a kind of one of those miracle songs, because there was no really any design for Sugar Boom Boom to be a top hit. It just happened. And if you look at where it was placed on the album, it was the last song on the album. It was making up space for, in those days, you had to have 10 songs to make an album and that kind of thing. But out of that success, Ed Watson then converted other songs and made other songs with his bass band, Ed Watson the Brass Circle, and he used almost the same rhythm of Sugar Boom Boom and created other music. The same person who initially felt that he had no interest or was never interested in soca suddenly recognized the economic value of the music, and if you want to be relevant in the industry, the carnival industry, he too must become involved in the soca industry.
Yeah, in fact, when Pelham was here, and he was talking about that Ed Watson LP, is that I think you just mentioned it. It was there was space. The last piece of music there, and Kitchener was against it, and Edwardson wasn't too enthusiastic. But somehow they got to put it down, and it became the big piece on that album.
Yep, the biggest song Kitchen ever wrote, in terms financially, that is.
Yeah. Chalu, you got something?
Yeah, let me see if I can give you guys the shorty.
He was a man, a great composer. His compositions were those of a master. Maestro, superstar tomorrow. What a blow to Calypso. He had to go to a high world of music, to a high world of music. I know there, I know he's there. To a high world of music, to a high world of music. I know he's there, I know he's there. Just in his prime, on the verge of greatness. Life, you was so unkind to leave him like this. But when the master calls your number, you just got to answer. Oh, what, my brother, to a higher world of music, to a higher world of music. I know he's there, I know you're there. To a higher world of music, to a higher world of music. I know he's there, I know you're there. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's the idea. Higher world of music.
Yeah. And Dr. Ottley, I must say that there are traces of Maestro's own stylings inside of the music there used by Shorty.
Yes, obviously, yeah. What he did, he used the same structure of some of the structural parts of Savage, and he included that the rhythmic structure and also the chants of Savage within it to represent the Maestro song, as one would call it, and also using the endless vibrations beat for the composition of that song. But it's almost like a lament of Maestro's passing, and I guess given their close relationship, he really felt. As a matter of fact, he said in the interview, when Maestro passed away, that was one of the factors that really caused him to move away from the limelight of life and find a new life for himself and his family.
I suppose he saw meaning in another life that he had to pursue. Let me ask you, Dr. Ottley, any author would have a thesis statement or several of them in the book. that you've written. What are a couple of them that you have said in this book that are important and significant for the reader to look out for?
Well, I think I mentioned a couple already. The first one being the influence of world music on our music, with specific reference to the 1960s R&B music out of North America, and the personalities whose music influenced us: the James Brown, the Otis Redding, the Aretha Franklin, the Curtis Mayfield. Those people I felt as young people growing up in urban Port of Spain, or even in rural areas. Those are the people who influenced the music. That's one of the major points of the music. The second one is that no individual can single-handedly create a musical genre, but you need someone to start it. And the leader, the Pied Piper of soca, to me, based on the research and the information that I've gathered, is Lord Shorty. Other people, as the music evolved, and as Lord Shorty withdrew from the scene, other people impacted the music. Right. What Blue Boy did was quite different from what Shorty was doing. What Marshall Montano is doing now is quite different from what Super Blue did. So that it's a process, it's a continuum, and along the way, certain individuals will impact it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
The other important part again, the musicians, the role of the musicians, because Calypso is based on lyrics mainly, with a beat, a 2/4 beat, and soca has its own musical structure. But musicians also give them their own styling and their own influence, and the same thing that influence musicians, they too have impacted on how the music is structured. And therefore, you had the impact of Ed Watson, you had the impact of Pelham Goddard, you had the impact later on of the guys out of Trinidad, the Frankie McIntosh, the Eddie Grant, the Gabby and the boys, some Burning Flame, some Antigua, and also the Bajan Invasion. So that when we really, if we really sit down to write a comprehensive book on soca music, it is such a wide. There'll be so many topics to cover that I think it's a dissertation for some student who really want to write about soca music.
And we've talked about the French Caribbean influence on the soca coming through the zouk. And Arrow from Montserrat with a big thing with the music, and a whole lot of people. Sorry, go ahead.
And then we also had to talk about some of the other side shows that impacted on soca. And a critical one that I have in the book is the impact of Soca Village on promoting soca music. Because Soca Village presented the real stage in a sense, for the Calypso, the soca art. Well, they weren't soca artists then, the Calypsonians and the band players to now present this new music to the world. Without Soca Village, we may have had a different kind of outcome.
And of course, we have to talk about people like Sir Charles, the DJs,
and the DJs,
very popular in that period of time, coming and playing the music.
And when we talk about DJs, we have to also talk about the DJs in North America, and particularly places like Tilden Hall, and where you have DJs Kobe and Madman Maddie, and all. It's also there are so many other people, and the point I'm making, there's so many people who have really impacted and helped to create what we now have as soca. But the pipe of the music was Lord Shorty.
Interesting that you mentioned as you talked about the DJs out there in North America and stuff who keep the soca music flying high, and the what they might call the first, second generations of those individuals outside there. A lot of them play more soca and calypso than DJs here.
Yeah, because the DJs here are still influenced and overly influenced by the R&B out of North America and the reggae from Jamaica. And
then the seasonal flow of it here, because Carnival, yes, things things pick up, you make a dollar go from it. But after that, what happens? You know.
But who's you? Okay, you're on the radio station, Sir Charles. What prevents a DJ on station? Is it the program manager who says to you that you have a playlist that you can only play X amount of soca from March to April or May to June? Or what stops you from having that same playlist that you had in January and February?
Yeah. What happens is because you see, like there are some stations that drive a lot of things that happen, and the stations that would want to play soca music does not have that drive. Which is the influence that where sponsors spend the money.
Oh, so then it has remained an economic thing there.
Yeah, so they go off. They realize, especially where the younger ones are coming, they listen to the soca music for a particular time, and then they go back into reggae music. They go back into hip hop.
And that is totally incorrect. You know, if you feed a man mango every day, he's gonna get to like mangoes.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Those stations have been feeding it that way.
And this is where I am not for legislation or censorship of any music, but I think given this ongoing debate with ownership of radio stations, from my view, part of your license should be that you must play at least 80% of music, local music, every day. And again, to get away from that, let's say that the younger people will only like Calypso up to March or only during Carnival. That is totally incorrect. If they expose it throughout the year, they're gonna love it the same way as they love the reggae and the R&B. What you feed them with is what they're expressing.
Yeah, and you're right, because it comes like so many other parts of our taste that we have developed for only certain things. But as I said, it's a dollar and cents factor with a lot of these persons who say they love it when they can make money from it, but they're not.
Then we need to take with a license.
Yeah.
But as we talk about DJs and soca music on the air, I think it would be bad of us not to recognize somebody like Phil Simmons, who was very instrumental in his time in playing the soca. I remember those programs on Saturday mornings when Phil the Trill from Laventille, played the soca piece after piece without relenting. He was fully supportive of that music. Dr. Ottley, I know you have to leave us. If you want to stay with us, we are no argument with that.
No.
You have to leave us.
But no, I have another engagement which I didn't recognize until over the weekend.
So maybe you could tell us the piece of music you want to leave us with.
I don't know if you could play it on here, but I don't know if you all have it. It's a one called Reply to the PM. It's a Lord Shorty that he did in 1974 after he was charged for indecent whatever by the then Commissioner of Police for singing Indrani and the Art of Making Love on the radio, on the Mashka show. And it's about, what I like about it is how he addressed the issue and in paying particular attention to, and as we know, the power of the Eric Williams in the 1970s, and yet this man out of Lengua had no fear in dealing with Eric Williams as an individual and taking him on there. I don't know if you have it. It's the Reply to the PM.
Actually, no, I don't. But I will give you what you consider was the first soca song, which was the Indrani. Would that be okay?
No. Maybe the Art of Making Love.
The Art of Making Love, right? I will find out what fade later.
And Tony, what you could probably tell your male listeners to take out your pen and pencil and take some notes.
Be educated, be informed.
Yes. But it was so sad to see here again in the midst of a carnival, we have our music being censored. Mm-hmm. That 73 Dimashka, I mean, it sent a bitter taste in Shorty's mouth because he never got over it, and then as a matter of fact, he took on the administration of the day, because he later on he sang "Money No Problem."
Yeah.
Like, you know.
And of course, I remember very well 1980. I covered he was staying in a little kind of, I want to describe it too badly, on Charlotte Street nearby Pyramid Cinema up in a little room there, and he told me about how he came to town, and he blew away town with Soca Baptist. And William's response, I remember it very well, because a colleague of mine who was a senior to me, when I did the interview with Super Blue, Blue Boy, he was saying, and played the music. He said, "Boy, you hear what Eric Williams said? To leave the music alone." But nevertheless, we played it. So, Charles, anything that you got there that we go out in and say thanks to Dr. Incidentally, sorry, before you go, where can people who want to get copies of the book, where can
they go? My at this moment at the Metropolitan Bookstore, or they can call me directly for copies. And I think it's $250 for a book.
Do you want to give out your telephone number that they can call you on?
Yes, sure. 680-7722. 680-7722. Or Metropolitan Bookstore.
Thank you very much. I think Metropolitan is somewhere in Arapita Avenue now.
At the corner of Arapita, just before Culver Street, on the left hand side.
Okay, so let's go with a piece of. You're welcome. Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much, Leslie.
Okay, so Charles, we'll talk.
Okay, great.
Leaving the poor woman on the shelf and always in a hurry, only satisfying herself. Now when she walk out and go, they can't understand that she left for lack of complete satisfaction. But your woman could never leave you as long as she lived. If you play it smart and practice the art from this expert advice I'll give. Listen, if you want to make your woman feel the way she want to feel, first dim the lights, then squeeze her tight, whisper in her ear, stick your finger in her hair, suck she lip, massage she hip, then you move your pubic section in a slow circular motion. As she eye gets sleepy, Papa, it's time to scoochie woochie. Women act differently, I know, according to their race. You'll find some women nicey anytime, any place, and then some are so reserved in all their doings. Although vibrantly being served, they cover their eyes and wouldn't say a thing. The Spanish and Chinese will scratch you like they have claws. The Indians, the whites, the Portuguese, mister, all is yours. But with a Negro or a Douglas, you're in for a fight. And I can tell you, brother, they pull up bigger and Lord, they have appetite. Well, listen, if you want to make your woman feel the way she like to feel, take a nipple in your mouth, that does tickle all about. Listen to her breathing, and if she gasping like she's strangling, don't stop, continue. Tell her what you're going to do. Talk to she and make she answer. That, my friend, builds the fire. You must groan and grind your teeth. And believe me, she's sour, tell she's sweet. It is a risk, I agree, pushing your tongue in some woman's hair, because sometimes it's so waxy, them and all catching the tail to hear. So a man must have stamina and a strong constitution. Because being a lover, believe me, takes a lot of man. Imagine you kiss your girl and get a piece of bake, she had quite a while. The expert lover will swallow that with a smile. And if she raise she hand and she arm smell like stale potato, you must ask the darling chokans, bunkans, how you could smell like so. Listen, if you want to make your woman feel original.
Oh my gosh. Tony, what do you have to say there?
What can I say?
I was just going for the commercial break, but I saw you having such a fun time with this song.
Yeah. It's but although it makes you laugh and feel and so on, but 30, 40 years after, it is not as dramatic as it was in the 1970s. You know, in the 1970s, you closed your ear as far as possible. Well, those people who were of that kind would feel very upset about it. But say what? Times have changed, yes?
I guess.
I like what Shorty says, that although you encounter some difficulties,
yes.
Say it's great, man.
That's a lot to go through.
All right, we are supposed to have with us Zeno, and I know he said he was involved in some stuff and we didn't know if he would get out in time. But Zeno, if you are listening and if you feel that you could get in, then surely we will wait for you. In the meantime, Charlo, I suggest that we play some of the soca music that we've been playing over the period of time, and let's enjoy it.
All right, so we're going to go for a break and then come back.
Oh, sure.
Your mid-morning just got better. Join Sir Charles for the mid-morning mix and mingle, where good music, real talk, health, and family matters come together, and your voice is heard. Whether you're at work, on the go, or just taking a break, this is the perfect mix to keep you engaged, informed, and entertained. The mid-morning mix and mingle, weekdays, 9 a.m. to 12 noon on New Era TT Radio, Net Radio.
S&H Rumbox, 137 Western Main Road, St. James, for all your retail and wholesale needs for alcohol and non-alcoholic beverages. Call us at 686-0599 or visit us at 137 Western Main Road, St. James. S&H Rumbox, drinking out of the box.
Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, your one-stop auto repair shop, located at number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair, right opposite the brewery on the Eastern Main Road. Yes, we do it all. Repairs to all makes and models, from your everyday sedan to SUVs, light trucks, pickups, and panel vans. We're also the sole distributors of Davanti tires, certified VTS inspection station, plus a wide range of services: oil change, front end and suspension repairs, tune-ups, tire alignment, batteries, electrical work, radiator and cooling system, AC repairs, and accessories galore. We offer pickup and drop-off service too. Call us today at 662-6545 or 662-6572. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Charm Flair Auto Services Limited, number 1 Industrial Lane, Charm Flair. We do it all.
Advertise with us on New Era TT Radio, the fastest growing streaming platform for talk in Trinidad and Tobago. Audio and video ads welcome. Elevate your brand with us. Connect with us at newerattradio@yahoo.com or call us at 299-5156. Now what are you waiting for?
Give you full discussions, the hottest topics, and some chats to keep you moving. The Drive Time Exchange. Taking you
but have no fear, she's real trouble. When she come from the lagoon, drink she rum, sing she Indian tune. I'm in misery, I ain't no award in me. If you hear she so persistent, like a real spoiled brat. Maybe it's love she want, but I feel she too old for that. But the emphasis on the word lay low to me seem to consist some suggestivity. She religious and always clean. It's obvious she wouldn't be obscene. Lord is puzzling. Here next song in Trinidad to sing. People hear she
All right, everybody, and we welcome you back inside the Drive Time Exchange for a Monday here with Tony Fraser and, of course, Indrani there for you, Tony.
Yeah, you cannot escape the sweetness of the soca in Indrani. The beautiful blending of the Indian melodies. Some of them, the chorus of that particular song is an old Indian song that was well known to Trinidad and Tobago long before Shorty put it into his music. Marshall Montano did something like that also, something that I'm sure that Charlo is aware of. Brought, I don't remember the name of it, but he brought the Indian song into the soca very much in the period of time that we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
that's
we're
the Radio NETT.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
That is the Radio NETT that he did with Drupal T.
Yes. T, of course, was famous. We explored the Indian element of the soca a couple of weeks ago, also noting that the music spread around. Ricky Jai, the phrase Ricky Jai started with Holy Lataman Gisha, give me soca. A clear indication that he was moving into the soca realm and going past, if you like, the traditional Indian song. I'm sure that is not completely so, that he incorporates the two forms of musics into his repertoire. So we're talking soca, we're talking about the different forms of soca. One of the forms I really like, Charlo, and I'll give you a moment to see if you find it, is Merchant. I thought Merchant brought a certain kind of sweetness to his own brand of soca, and he had a number of hits in which he developed on entering the soca rhythms along with Shorty and the likes of Maestro and all of the others who came along the period of time.
Yeah, I particularly like this one. Let me see if I can pull it up for you now.
Sure.
Getting a funny feeling, it making me shiver. I didn't bunk to bother, but I went and see Dr. Soca. He examined me properly, sung me good, then said to me, you don't want a physician, Young man, what you want is a musician. You have soca in your face. You have soca in your waist. You have soca in your elbow. You have soca in your big toe. Who tell me so? Is he will tell me so? La la la. Oh oh la 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 la. Oh oh la 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 la. I say, Doc, since last carnival I getting this feeling, and like it ain't going, it's stronger and stronger it getting. You say, well, check Dr. Pelham Goddard or Dr. Edwardson. Both of them have license. They could tell you if something happened, but I know it's soca in your spine, soca on your mind. You have soca in your kidney. You have soca in your belly. Who tell me so? Is he will tell me so? Oh la la. Oh oh la 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 la. Oh oh la 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 la.
Yeah, that's the music. Dr. Soca there for you. I'm listening to the story that Rudy was telling about Edwardson, because I think that is Edwardson music, and is Edwardson
Yes.
talking about in the background yourself, eh?
Yes, definitely. So he came onto the soca boat.
And came on very strongly.
Yeah, there were others. I'm sure you can find a shadow threatening the soca artist. He said he don't want to get onto that soca boat because he might mash it up. But eventually he came onto it fully and strong, so that there were skeptics. I suppose the traditionalists of Calypso, the likes of Superior, Kitchener, Sparrow didn't make a fuss about it, but he came on eventually, and a number of others who were reluctant at the start, but when they recognized that this thing was really taking root and moving forward and attracting young people going to parties and so on, they had no other choice but to join the soca boat.
Yeah, all right. Let's join on the soca boat right now.
Challenge my reputation. He said he is the soca king. I can't play with the soca king. I call the mental hospital. Come quick to avoid your funeral. A man came in my house to beat me. He came in my house to bite me. I belong to the house of music. He's either crazy or real sick. But I don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that soca boat. Just don't want to sing that soca boat. I don't want to sing that That was confusion. I was transformed to a demon. I got mad on my eyes and red. Only wickedness in my head. Maybe I got feeling violent. I begged our feeling to fight him. He came in my house to beat me. He came in my house to fight me. I belong to the house of music. He's either crazy or healthy. But I don't want to sing that soca code. I don't want to sing that soca code. I don't want to sing that soca code. I don't want to sing that soca
Well, it just goes to show that Calypsonians, like politicians, have to be careful what they say.
Time catches up with them, right?
Yes, when in public life, whether it be Calypsonian or politicians, apparently, like you can't say, okay, I changed my mind.
Yeah. People want to hold you.
Yeah. How you can say one thing, so I can't change my mind, or there.
Talking about that, and then of course there was a generation that succeeded the likes of Merchant and Shallow and Explainer and all of them to the present day. I heard, for instance, I went to a show last night and I heard what's his name with Coco T, and of course is a different kind of feel, but nevertheless I don't know what you think, Chalo, but Coco T by what's his name?
Yes.
A different kind of feel, but nevertheless soca.
Yeah. Well, let's go there and make back and see what we can do with it.
All right.
When I'm feeling under the weather, you just make me feel sweet. Ice the cocoa tea, use the sugar, and together we are complete, darling. Heat me up. Only you alone can put fire back in the soul. Heat me up. And they telling me I should leave that fire alone. Well, the more they tell me, the more I'm holding you close. I could never let you go. Miss Socially, girl, I'm coming home, I will see you again. All day through the night, I'm dreaming. Yeah, Miss Socially, when you turn it up, make it smooth, my darling. When outside is pouring rain, put a pot on the fire, bubbling, it's over. Raise the temperature higher, coming in closer. Make the thing get your fire. It's all on the ground, all over the counter, yeah. With that pot on the fire, yeah. It's your cocoa boy. I barely could concentrate. I feel a sugar rush in my vein. One cup, it does make my day. I'm missing it when I'm gonna love for you. Heat me up. Only you alone could put fire back in the soul. Heat me up. Girl, you are that thing, I could never leave you alone. No. And no matter what they could say, I'm holding you close. I could never let you go. Miss Socially, girl, I'm coming home, I will see you again. All day through the night, I'm dreaming. Yeah, Miss Socially, when you turn it up, make it smooth, my darling. When outside is pouring rain, put a pot on the fire, bubbling, it's over. Raise the temperature higher, coming in closer. Make the thing get your fire. It's all on the ground, all over the counter, yeah. With that pot on the fire, yeah. It's your cocoa tea, boy. When I'm feeling under the weather, you just make me feel sweet. Ice the cocoa tea, use the sugar, and together we are complete, darling. Heat me up. Only you alone can put fire back in the soul. Heat me up. And they telling me I should leave that fire alone. Well, the more they tell me, the more I'm holding you close. I could never let you go. Miss Socially, girl, I'm coming home, I will see you again. All day through the night, I'm dreaming. Yeah, Miss Socially, when you turn it up, make it smooth, my darling. When outside is pouring rain, put a pot on the fire, bubbling, it's over. Raise the temperature higher, coming in closer. Make the thing get your fire. It's all on the ground, all all over the counter, yeah. With that pot on the fire, yeah. It's your cocoa alarm. Oh, when feeling under the weather.
All right, a little bit of cocoa tea for you there, and the artists of today, and they are just making a difference with their sound, you know, Tony. They are doing the thing totally different towards the way that
Shorty and Company started.
Yeah, you know, these guys are seriously business minded.
Right, they're exploring this stuff seriously. You know, one of the lines of Kess's Cocoa Tea that tells me that yes, it's different. Is a different kind of soca, but it remains calypso. the line about Miss Washy Name. I mean that is typical calypso phraseology, incorporating people's language and so in it. Another one of the, and maybe you can find this, Charlo. Another one of the modern soca pieces, which I genuinely like, was the one that Voice came with in its first year. I don't remember the name of it, but it was extremely popular, and he did quite well with it in the first year. He seemed to have charted a path forward that was peculiarly his, and I saw that was great. Voice.
I can't remember exactly what was the actual song of itself, you know, that I would have first heard from him, but you know, I would play one of his songs any which way.
It was a song in which he was talking to the youth who were growing in a different kind of violent way. As I say, I don't remember the title of the song.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it as well.
You play what you have, and perhaps you will think about that piece by Voice.
Watch out, Jaja. Here we live and life now. Everywhere is vibes now. Whoa, I say watch out, Jaja. Bring woman so nice now. What more could I ask for? Beside a woman in front to go down and walk up, she lays and get on and mind that she body can wind up no more. Cause life is short and tomorrow not sure, so I live like it's my last. Oh, drinks in me and now. Jump up and wave is the plan now. Just up and girl with the man now. Whoa, cause the things so sweet, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I don't wanna go home, no. Cause the things so sweet, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I don't wanna leave, oh no. Right now I feel like a jump down. I feel like a wind down. I want to hold on a bumper right now, I get on bad, yeah. I feel like a jump down. I feel like a wind down. I want to hold on a bumper right now and get on bad, yeah. Sometimes I wonder, yeah, where I wanna be when this time is over. Sometimes I wonder, yeah, how life would I be if you didn't have soca. Cause I love the city, y'all, and them go down and walk up the west and get on and mind till everybody can wind up the bar. Cause life is short and tomorrow not short, so I live like it's my last. Oh, drinks in me and now. Jump up and wave is the plan now. Just stop and girl with the man now. Whoa, cause the things so sweet, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I don't wanna go home, no. Cause the things so sweet, yeah. Sometimes I feel like I don't wanna leave, oh no. Right now I feel like a jump down. I feel like a wind down. I want to hold on a bumper right now, I get on bad, yeah. I feel like a jump down. I feel like a wind down. I want to hold on a bumper right now and get on bad, yeah. Chase the life, yes the life. Say put your dreams them straight to the sky. Put all your problems them to the side. Cause it's a blessing to be alive. Chase the life, yes the life. Say put your dreams them straight to the sky. Put all your problems them to the side. I got a stranger now start to whine and tell them.
I know that was just around that time too, you know, 2016, 15, somewhere in that area there. And I can't remember. I know the song you're talking about in a slow song, but I just can't remember the name of it now. And if I don't remember the name of it, I will not find it so much songs to go through.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we should come up with something from this year. And I think about the brother, as he calls himself.
Yeah, young brother.
Young brother. He had quite a big one this year, which took him to the monarchy, and he placed somewhere in the first 4 or 5. I don't remember exactly. But young brother did well for himself, and he had a completely different one in which he was dealing with the ladies or the particular lady at that point in time. But young brother also taking the soca, putting meaning to it, and coming up with wonderful music.
Yeah. I'll get you just now, Teddy. Just a minute.
All right. Yeah. So what we've been doing, just let me go back a little bit to inform our listeners and our viewers. What we've been doing in this Calypso History Month is exploring the evolution, the creation and evolution of soca. Among the things that we've learned both from Calypso researchers and from musicians such as Pelham is that this thing was happening over a period of time. We just heard Dr. Rudolph Ottley, notwithstanding the fact that the music was evolving, identifying Shorty as the one who really created the music. There are other contestations about a maestro on this one and that one and so on. But as far as Dr. Ottley's research has taken him, it is really Shorty starting not even with the big one, but rather back in 1973 with the songs that he presented at that point in time about the spirituality and so on of Shanti. But of course, coming on later with Endless Vibrations, the one that really broke ground and made the soca popular. Of course, people like Maestro came after. We heard from the Dr. Soca, who was reluctant, Edwardson, like Kitchener was. They were reluctant to join the soca train. Shadow was in that group also, but eventually they all came on. And up to today, even some of the original Calypsonians entered the soca field because it was the music that was making some impact, especially on the younger generation, the old Calypso generation. People like my good self and so accustomed to the old forms. We joined the band because the soca was so impulsive, so important to bring meaning to, as Shorty said. When we wailing and when we whining, we need some new kind of music that will influence us.
Yeah.
Well, anything you want to play from the soca?
Yeah, I got it.
You like speed, rock work, y'all bend down, touch your knee. It's a new wallpaper for my iPhone screen. She said, let me cater to you, I say cater to me. She said, just relax and let me give you the thing. Yes, girl, I wanna give you the thing. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. And then she bubble and she bubble and she bubble and whine. Push back is the greatest pedal. Push back. Roll your waist and pedal. Push back. Oh, Miss Lady, bubble and she bubble and she bubble and whine. Push back. Give me the greatest pedal. Push back. You are the wickedest pedal. Push back. Oh, who are the rubber waist? Like a rubber band. You have your own things. You never rubber man. And when you put on your costume back and all, every man want jam in your section. She said, let me cater to you. I say cater to me. She said, just relax and let me give you the thing. Yes, girl, I wanna give you the thing. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind up yourself. She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up yourself. You don't have to wind listen. Oh, and then she bubble and she bubble and she bubble and wine. Push back is the greatest mellow. Push back, roll your waist and mellow. Push back. Oh, Miss Lady, bubble and she bubble and she bubble and wine. Push back, give me the greatest mellow. Push back, you are the wickedest mellow. Push back. Oh.
Yeah, young brother with his own version of the soca, very encouraging, I am sure, to the young audience, those people who go after the soca artists of today. All right, so we have Sir Charles spent the last months and a little bit more. I think we started in the late September. Now we are ending in early November. Tracing the evolution of the soca, and we've had quite a lot of the music that came over the period, the different periods of the evolution of the soca. And we came back today to the whole business of the creation of the soca through the research work of Dr. Rudolph Ottley, and his own book that he has just published, in which he traces the evolution of the soca, and he's fully supported his research. Supports his view that yes, there have been evolutionary practices over a long period of time, but it is that Shorty made the breakthrough into the big calypso, as we know. Endless Vibrations before that in Trani, and a lot of controversy around that. And hopefully, Chalo, we have played a lot of the music over the period of time, over the last 6 weeks, really. One in late September and one now in early October. And we've had people like Pelam Barad talking about it. Zeno Constance, we can never forget, and thank him for the music that supplied us with the but nevertheless, we thank him for being with us over the 5 weeks that he's been with us and supplied us with a whole lot of music that we have played. So, Charlo, we want to leave it there for this afternoon. But just before we go, I just want to indicate to our listeners and viewers that we are attempting to get at least 3 military experts. We don't want to call their name just yet because they haven't confirmed definitively for tomorrow. And the question I want to ask them is, what do we do as citizens? There is a whole lot of stuff going on around us, whether Venezuela is going to be, approached, what should we say, intervened by the United States of America. There is talk about America wanting really to deal with the resources of Venezuela, and not so much about the drug trade, but really wants to change the regime in Caracas so that the energy resources will be more open to the United States. But of course, in the present still, there's a lot of export of Venezuelan crude oil to the United States, and maybe there's a requirement for not only more, but for control of those resources through the American multinational corporation. And of course, that has caused us some real conflict here in Trinidad and Tobago. It's well known as that our Prime Minister has taken the side of the United States in the hope that the dragon will be brought back to life if we stay with President Trump. And there is some disposition of President Maduro in Caracas, and maybe that's a bet that is going on. The consequences, nevertheless, there have been consequences. People feeling unsettled, people feeling a little bit scared, more than a little bit scared. We have never had this kind of thing. We've had internal conflicts and so on, but some kind of force coming from outside is a very different story, Chalo. We haven't, in recent history, we haven't experienced. Of course, if you go back to the 17th and the 1800s, Spain coming into Trinidad and Tobago, and then the French, and then the British, and so on. But that is part of the historical memory. We have not had that kind of intervention in Trinidad and Tobago. In modern history, let's put it that way. In modern history, over the last 150 years, and therefore there is a lot of concern. Of course, Charlo, the kind of weaponry of today is very, very different from the cannons of the past, as bad as they were. The modern technological weapons will shatter, or can shatter, let me put it that way, infrastructure, threaten the lives of people, our citizens, and so it's a big concern. So hopefully we'll get our two military persons with a lot of military experience to talk to us about how do we live in these times, expecting the unknown, because we can't tell exactly what is in the mind of the President of the United States and what he will do, and then the counter which may come from Caracas, given our position on the side of the United States. So that should be interesting, Charlo, as we look forward to tomorrow's program.
A lot to happen. A lot to happen.
Yeah. All right, so we leave you there with some selection selected by Charlo as we go with the Soca. So remembering that we have done our best to put the Soca on the national platform during this Calypso History Month by going into the evolution and the research work which has been done by a number of persons.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Tony. So we'll wait and see what tomorrow will bring.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Steel band, oh what an invention. It should be the pride of our nation. Steel band music, the world know about it, and it's we invented, so why should we disregard it? But what I see, Lord, it have me grieving. Why is the steel band still suffering? Uncle Spring, it ain't easy, I could tell you. Well, ask Booksy, ask Bertie, them could tell you. Spin an oil drum. Look how far the steel band came from. Brother, to make a steel band song like an organ is a great achievement, so I throw it on